My name is David Kinudia. I'm 23 years old. I'm a beneficiary here in Global Hope Rescue and Rehabilitation Center. And I was born in a family of 4 by both parents, my mom and my dad. We used to live somewhere in a city called Rongai. I used to school there since till 2011 when I lost my dad. After I lost my dad in a car accident in 2011, my mom was not that flexible to give me some pocket money the way my dad used to do. And so this broke some connection from me with my mom. And I started doing some other activities at home, like stealing from our own house, stealing metal things, going to measure them in scrap metal fields and getting some money from there. That also encouraged my behaviors in a field of even starting sleeping away from home. I did that for almost 8 months and so. And later, in late 2012, I met my cousin. He was older than me. He was married and had one kid, and he had two house rents where which he had. One of it is the ones that he used to share with his wife and the kid, and the other one was far from Rongai to another place called Mindika. I used to stay there with him and share to have my time there with him. I used to cook there, I used to sleep there, and I used to live there normal. Till one day he came and introduced me to another kind of job. I was 16 years of age by that time. He introduced me to his 2 friends, 2 colleagues, like his workmates, who he told me that those are his friends, and they shared an idea with me, telling me that I had a good body to at least have being introduced in the job for that night. I didn't know what the job was, so I agreed and said if it has like good earnings, then I will join it. So in the evening, we ate supper. After taking our supper, we took off from Rongai to another place called Kitengela Glass, where they dropped me there and told me to find a lift back to a center nearby, which is known as Tuala. So I didn't have much to say. I thought maybe they have abandoned me there, and thought maybe I was not that good in that work maybe. And so I took off and started going back from the direction we came from. And so when I was going back, I saw some lights from far, which were like dimming, like flashing. And so I thought of having a lift from there. And so I stood there, and it was somehow drizzling. And when the vehicle appeared, I borrowed a lift, and by good luck, the driver or the owner of the vehicle came slowed down. And the driver was a she. She asked me what I was doing there, and I told him, and I told her like finding a way. I'm finding a ride from there to a center nearby, so that I can go home. And so without so many questions, because the weather was not good, she offered me a lift. But by the time I was going, when she unlocked the vehicle, the door, and I was about to enter, I had a rough commotion from men around. I didn't know where they came from, and they held me by the neck and entered with me inside the vehicle. And the woman was like, "Hey, no, leave the young man alone. Just he's innocent. He's just asking for a ride." And they were like, "You just shut up and keep driving." They were armed with pistols, yeah, and some knives. and so I didn't even talk much. I was so shocked, and yeah, and it reached a time now when she was driving. We diverted to an interior place, like an interior place, where we went and parked the vehicle away from the Maram Road. And when we went there, I saw other two vehicles appearing, and now it made a total of 3 vehicles. And with the one vehicle which arrived later, my cousin was there, and I was so confused, like what will happen next, because now my cousin is here, he has gun and all of those. So I didn't have any clue of what was happening. So I thought it was just a carjacking, and then finally at last I will get myself killed. But it didn't went like that. I was taken by my cousin and went into another vehicle, where he told me like, wait for me here, I'm coming in a short time. So they went there in that new catch. They started examining it. They took all the good things from it, and the 2 vehicles left, leaving me with the other vehicle there with my cousin. We drove back home. I was so shocked, I didn't even talk to him on our way back to his place. So when we reached there, I was thinking of maybe at night, maybe that late night, he will wait until I'm so sleepy, like I have slept, and maybe he will hang me or cut my head off. So I was so shocked, and I didn't sleep for the whole night. But with luck, maybe he didn't sleep there in that house. So he went. He didn't sleep there. He left me there alone, and told me like, lock all of the doors and just have a rest here. I'll come early in the morning. So I slept there for the whole night. The next day morning, he didn't come. In the afternoon, around 12:30 p.m. the next day, he came with one of his friends who was there last night, and they came with an envelope, a brown envelope, which was a bit heavy, and gave me. So when they gave me and told me like, you can check what is inside. So when I checked what was inside, I saw it was money, and yeah, and I went and enjoyed the money. I bought some goodies, and they told me like, yeah, that was a good catch for you. That's how the job is done. So next time, do it be very fast to at least know how to get some catches. So with that, I started engaging myself in carjacking with him. I was used as a bait for a long time, for almost a year. The whole of 2012 and a bit 2013, I had been used as a bait by my cousin since 2014, a bit there in around April. This is where now my life went astray, and I changed from those paths. So from carjacking, now this is when I met the founder of this place, our dad, our guardian, Mr. Joe Joroge. I met him when I was in a police station first, after being caught and accused of handling arms and handling stolen goods, and also robbery stroke 2 and grievous with arm, also gravery. Those were almost 5 cases which they could have jailed me for a long time in prison. So I met him there when he was coming to Westland for a gender police officer who was attached much in a children's court. So I met him there the first day when I was taken there. Then when I was taken to Milimani Law Courts, after being jailed and taken to a remand center where I was under probation, taken back to court, doing some hearings for 3 consecutive cases. With the remaining 2 cases, he came doing some missions also in the remand center where I was. And so we met there again, and after exchanging names, and after he had like what took me in there, he told me like I have started a center which caters for boys who have been neglected in the society and community at large. And so after listening to what he was telling me, I opened up to him and told him like what was going on with my case. I have already done them. And so he was telling me like, yeah, we can look for a way to sort this. So I thought it was a lie, because it was not that easy for an ordinary person to bring all these things into conclusion of being a free man. It was so difficult for me even to trust him. So I just looked at him, like I was so attentive on what he was telling me, but I was not believing what he was telling me. And so I went for judgment. After my 3 consecutive hearings, I went for my judgment for the 2 cases, and I was jailed for 15 years, short term. And also we went for the other 2 remained hearings, which was done that afternoon, and I was jailed for 25 long term, making them a total of 40 years in prison. So with this, I had lost hope, and I was like, no, there is no way I can come out of prison. Maybe when I'm so old, with beards and the white beards and some like balded head, and yeah. So I went back. I was taken back to a correctional center in industrial area. Here in Kenya they call it Jela Ndogo. So I was taken there, where now I was waiting till I reached 18 years to be taken to now a maximum prison. So with all this, now one day I was called from the remand center very early in the morning, and I was told like, today you have there is the judge wants you in the court. And I was like, no, I can't go to the court, because I thought maybe they want to take me out of the prison and go and kill me, saying that maybe I have run away from the prison. So I was not believing what they were telling me. And after a long conversation of after a long discussion with the officers and the officer, like the commandant of that place, after having a long conversation with him, he told me like, yeah, there is you have a guy outside there. He has appealed your case, and now they want you in the court. And so I was taken back to the court in Milimani Law Courts, where I went and found Mr. Joe seated on a bench there, and we did like a bench judge, like in that courtroom we were only us, with the probation officer, Mr. Joe, I and the 2 officers who had escorted me, and the prosecutor and another lawyer and another children officer, Madam. We were only us there, and no other civilians were there. So after the hearing again, now the judge asked like, who is that guy who has said he deals with such guys who have been in the streets, and who can't even like be corrected and being good again. So Dad raised up his hand and stood up and said he was the one. So I was released free of charge. Under the care of Mr. John Njoroge in the late 2015, around November there. I came here in Global Hope Rescue and Rehabilitation Center, where I was welcomed in a very good way. Until now, I'm here. He took me back to school in grade 7 in primary level, and now I'm in grade 2 in secondary level of education. And in this place, the way I came here, it is not the same way it is right now. The challenges that we are facing right now, challenges in terms of land. Okay, the land that we are using, that we are in right now, it's a rental land, which in every month it's being paid rent, there is rent which is being paid here. And the center is so small to accommodate 110 boys. And because in each and every room, we have like 4 rooms, and each room have a lot of boys here. In each and every bed they sleep. In the big dorm, the boys sleep. We sleep 3 or 4 in those beds, and in the other like small boys dorm, they sleep even 5 or 6, according to the number how it has increased right now. In terms of food also, we have some challenges, like beans is a bigger challenge because that is our staple food here. Because having some vegetables daily, it's a big challenge also in drought season. So for the well-wishers and the donors who are at least here, like watching this video or hearing from this video, please, we need your assistance and a stretch of hand when you hold our shoulders and walk with us to another step of owning our own land, which will accommodate even 1,000+ boys who we left out there, who are helpless and who can't even manage to afford even 1 meal a day, who can't even afford to have a blanket to keep them warm for only 1 night, to have those like shoes and clothes to at least cover their naked bodies for only a single hour. We will appreciate when we have your support, and we will appreciate when you walk with us in this journey. Thank you, and God bless you.